told to watch this game a number of times. Can't say I'm surprised that it ended up close, but you know, see what exactly happened. It's obviously this is metalwork, so some minor map-specific things might not be apparently obvious to me. It's because, you know, I have less experience with it than if I were to actually play it at any point in my life, but I'm not, so you know, this is still fine. It basically just means there's more to learn in some ways, even if some of the things might be obvious. People have just played it more, but anyway, Froyo in blue, FroyoBlack in red. Getting up to a nice little metal mid-fight, both teams starting out. Not even that similar, only Lars is on the flank here, but Froyo is more spread out evenly across their half. Aim is trying to throw in some damage, take position, has the space to go for it. Doesn't see Lars down, that is a lot of damage early onto him, if not the kill directly. So just patient waiting game by Froyo at the early part here. Beep just plays really aggressive with that as well. Makes sense, granted that Aim was coming forward with that, which makes it all the less great for them that Podolski died like he did. Froyo comes forward collectively with that too. Habib shouldn't have had that much freedom. That should have been a lot more preventable, but it doesn't matter too much. That's like the only casualty. There's the killbind. So yeah, it's not too bad. I was focusing onto that too much maybe. And overall they just waited more than Froyo wanted them to. And Froyo just couldn't get in close. Aim died super early, and the only damage they got was onto the Dowerman, which sure is a decent pick, but they all went forward trying to get that. Basically, and nothing really got done with that in the end. That was just a pretty, like, scenario of, like, a passive versus an aggressive mid. Where you need to play it clever if you play it aggressive. Because otherwise you just have this happen to you, just run into a wall over and over again. Anyway, Uber into last. Straight in, so just don't even really force. They're just kind of around pretending like they wanted to and just jump away. Except for Blaze, who kind of just jumps into it, which is, I guess, a nice reaction by high five to get the damage in. Podolski is just doing his best Smira impression and just walks to the point. Gets pressure on it, gets about a third of the point cap, which is alright. Doesn't die for it, that's the most important part here. They don't actually get Blaze, who somehow is still alive under the point on like no HP. With Habib's help actually got a kill there. Aim gets another one. Somewhere. Where's Aim? Oh, there's Aim, never mind. Oh yeah, he slammed it, Podolski does with that as well. Bad position in the later part there. For FroyoBlack. Just high five didn't die, they all dropped down to the low ground. Podolski's point pressure didn't mean anything because they all were still busy trying to chase kills. Just not too greatly communicated there. Froyo is chasing with that as quickly as they can. They have advantage as well, so trying to, in any capacity, slow hold that against a team that's playing really aggressive means you would have to get like the drop onto Nursey to not just get rolled there. So leaving all the way to mid makes sense. They get some spawns, still don't have enough Uber to safely contest this, but they don't want to give it up for free either. It means a 2v2 fight ensues on the flank, on the left side there. They end up trading. If Blaze dies there, it's not terrible, but it's a bit more sketchy for Froyo for sure. It might just buy enough time for Shay to get his Uber up. So let's see what happens. Mamadou comes forward with this as well. Fanny and Aim rotate quickly there. And the combo can't really contest on FroyoBlack with nothing really an opportunity. Mamadou was in position to maybe jump something, but they just rotated fast. Exchange comes in. This is really sketchy for Shade though. I don't really know what caused him to... He was weak. I don't know if something caught him. Maybe, yeah, must have been Blaze, right? So Blaze jumped across when they were still not far enough back. They probably wanted to use it anyway, coming forward, but they were just getting forced early. Shade used. They still got to Nursey to put on pressure, so they got an exchange out of it at least, but that was clearly not what they were going for. Either way, nice rotation by Froyo to deny the flank from making this a really sketchy situation. FroyoBlack hasn't given up yet though. It was not the exchange they wanted, but they still want to make it work. Habib is in health-wise much better of a position as Podolski. Podolski needs to take the pack. But again, this is kind of like looking like the mid-fight. Danny dies early, FroyoBlack is just playing pretty passive. Blaze tries to commit for damage across the point that his team maybe hopes to contest with. And sure, they get some damage, but they just don't get any position with it that matters at all. Sure, they might have had more space on the point for a little bit there, but they won't have to go like so deep into FroyoBlack is. And from there, they're just chasing really, really well. So this is like a lot more of what happened on the mid fight, basically. Just like a really fine line they're drawing right now, where they want to contest without over-committing to something, but also not just baiting themselves into really stupid situations and just kind of have to commit, which is really interesting. And then this happens though, speaking of over-committing, Boronsky was not on the beam, gets dropped from the Uber, everybody jumps away from Shade. Last is just on the point, with the Uber not being in play doing anything. Nurse has 84, nobody with her right now, but given how weak the Uber is so far, that shouldn't be much of a concern, because Shade just needs to leave, he can't catch up with anybody. Slamnish has two choices here, which is delay this chase onto his medic, or go back with his medic ops to stand in front of them, maybe get some damage onto Nurse. I mean, he did get some. Neither of those two options obviously is great, but at that point you can't really do anything else. That made sense. But yeah, the Uber was just, again, a bit rushed, which is really weird, because on mid, it's like the exact opposite. There's so much more patience on mid. Speaking of mid, this time, almost the same scenario we had before, except Uber's situation is widely different. Shade only has 40 instead of 70. Which makes all the difference. That they would have to delay for so much longer, but they also get to kill into Eric early by some spam. Banny almost dies as well to Bronsky. Aim is just in trying to force them damage, force them back. But again, Froyo is just doing this by letting their soldiers run like really separated from everything else. Which I don't think is the best idea, especially not with how FroyoBlack is playing right now. And eventually they just try to commit alone, but Aim still dies, Blaze is super weak. And honestly, Last should just go help out Mamadou here. That's 3 kills if they get that. Instead they want the force, which also makes sense. But they're gonna lose people for it. Last dies, Last and Slamnish, they trade. That could have been... They had a good idea there. I think the execution could have been better. I think Blaze should have been a better target to go for than 2 for the force. But it's minor things. They still played it well enough to the point where Froyo with 60% add into mid is not getting the point. Which in and of itself is really good. Just abusing Froyo's attempt to take this for free, by forcing in early damage without trying to come in with the Uber. And getting picks off of that. Would work brilliantly. Popping in here just for good measure, trying to maybe chase something, dealing a lot of damage, but they're not fast enough to catch anybody in lobby. Everybody gets out. Not too bad considering it's the last situation. Popping out of last is never the greatest idea, or at least not the safest one, unless you have some decent picks to go with it. And know exactly where people are. Otherwise you just have to play really afraid. But, you know, we're just gonna try either way. But if you see it coming every single time, you should be able to escape it every single time. And if they don't use, you just like stay in a little bit more with at least something in force. Sure, you might lose a soldier or something, but at the end of the day, as long as you make them use and you don't die, you're gonna have advantage again. So FroyoBlack is just playing it conservative. Which is surprising, because when I last watched them, they played a lot more aggressive. It's not like they don't play aggressive, but they play safe when they need to. Froyo is trying to just force things over the flank, which makes sense, given how last time we've seen this. FroyoBlack did the same kind of Uber straight to the shutter door, trying to get just everything chased out, and Froyo just tried to avoid all of that. Well, not all of it, but most of it, by just throwing things behind. And I assume the idea was to pincer them on the point, or wherever they are at the time, with the combo committing, even without an Uber, just using predictable position post-Uber to commit from both behind and the front at the same time. But FroyoBlack realizes that real quickly, gets 2 kills, well 3 kills, 2 on the soldiers behind and Banny I think on the Uber. Which is really good. That's 2 soldiers still dead on last year. If they can get any kills out of this is insane. Like, it doesn't matter that Nosy doesn't have. In fact, it's kinda helping right now. A little bit. Also on paper, Force would be nice here, but if they just kill people in front of Mercy, then that's fine too. And Froyo was scared a little bit, understandably so. That was the right decision to play faster. The soldiers were not spawning for a little while. Vanny wasn't quite there yet as well. For another moment. So with the moment they had, even if Mercy got at in time, they would have had to use to not just lose the round like they did, and they would have still got the Force advantage for another try. So it was 100% a lose-lose situation, and just really well played from mid to second. FroyoBlack. They is playing aggressive again. This time actually committing. Last time they tried to rotate aims out. Aim even flat. This time the soldiers are just going ham. Eric comes with that as well. Try. So Froyo's adjustment to the bit is just more of the same. As in more aggressive. Both soldiers trying to go in much more directly with Scout backing that up as well. Neither of which get through. They get some alright damage. And Podanski on top of that, but that's still 2 for 1. Demo pick is good. But it's still like a lot of damage you're lacking right now. They also try to take position with that up top. But FroyoBlack again is just a bit more content with sitting back. But with more players comes the ability to take space back a lot better, and nobody saw last coming, neither did I, honestly. And that's exactly what I was talking about. Scouts are still here, take a long time to die. Should still die. My wounded kill is affordable. Most importantly, Nursey already died, so at that point the scouts just need to properly commit. Or just be able to build something on last instead of, you know, just sitting there looking at people. So again, a somewhat more passive approach. But FroyoBlack is putting in the work right now. And the aggressive soldier stuff is getting closer to success, but it's not quite working out. Mamalu is jumping in, checks the situation. Eric is there. Slamnish is there with that as well, which is really nice. Otherwise this would be free kill, most likely. Now it's more of the opposite. Eric is getting to be the target now. Pop really early though. They took some early damage. By spam I would assume, because the sticky trap is still up. So the US isn't catching much, but they already have some kills. Bolonsky dying here is really bad. The soldier had to commit there quite a bit to get in as well. Blaze is in prime position to just kill Shade. Slamnish isn't here yet either, so they don't really have player art right now. Which is just making the situation escalate into really bad. Soldiers... Oh no, Mamadou didn't know where else he was. That should have been a kill. Does it matter? No, the scouts come back in time. Slamnish is fast enough. That was sketchy for a while. Yeah, I like FroyoBlack a lot more outside of last right now. That was highly improvised and DM dependent to turn that one in as heavy in their favor as it was. Needless to say, if you have that DM, then you know you can win a lot more sketchy fights that don't start well. But obviously, the way they've been playing so far, they seem to want to avoid that a lot more than Froyo does. Different approach by Froyo this time. Habib is on the left. Nossy's still right. Aim is just waddling. Should probably switch perspective here like I did the entirety of the game so far, just for consistency's sake. And just watch these mid-fights from this perspective. So a different start to this. Looks a lot more like... Well, actually no, never mind. I want to say it looks a lot more like a classic gully mid with the demo being in choke. Soldier under, but Habib rotates, aim dies pretty early. Slamnish gets killed in return. So Froyo is just kinda trying to adapt here a bit, it seems. No, the soldiers aren't like overcommitting this time as much as they did the last few times. Last is going in high behind this time as well. This is how you got Nursey last time, but the situation was better as well. Tries to distract, make some space with that. Means a few further players are without heals. Nursey realizes that, as the scouts doing what they need to do, which works quite well. And it looks like Froyo is just winning this bit fight by beating them at their own game right now. Just a lot more waiting, finding the soldiers, and the moment the numbers went negative for FroyoBlack, they just decided to leave. Eve jumped up by Blaze, still gets in, so he gets a lot of damage. Gets a 2-for-1 on the exchange start. Which is sketchy for FroyoBlack right now. They really can't afford to do much here. Unless, and I say it again, DM comes through and everybody makes themselves really predictable. If Shade survives that, he's a genius, because everybody else is like really busy right now. Or he actually is a genius. That was some really nice serves by Shade. Everybody kind of abandoned him. I can't say it was the wrong decision to go for an ESEA necessarily. But somebody obviously needed to be with Shade, needless to say. You know. And that's the nice part about TF2. It's not all strats. Player ability is definitely a relevant thing. And again, FroyoBlack just kind of shines through that a bit. Anyway, they try to contest mid. Froyo is here as well. Marmalu's early again, trying to force an early damage spot position like they did before. This time, however, gets picked up for it. Team not fast enough there. As Habib tries to just box him out, which is kind of big actually. As long as they don't get overwhelmed by Aim and Banny here, that's a nice pipe. They still get boxed out more or less. Slamnish is just chasing Nursey, which is the right idea as long as his combo survives. Last is rotating back as well. That's a really nice reaction there, while Slamnish is just going straight for the medic bases alone. Slamnish is having the pistol out, so never mind that idea. But yeah, that was just like communication-wise, that was really well done. Like everybody did what they needed to do there. The combo didn't overcommit, seeing as people were straight in front of them. Just played it back. Last boxed out the demo. Meant Habib didn't do anything for any of that. And then immediately rotated back to help out the combo that was forced back as well. Where none of that was happening to any of the Froyo players. Again, similar story as we've seen before. Blaze goes behind, distracts, which arguably helps his combo get out. Nursey almost half, so they want to try to contest this early. FroyoBlack has different ideas. They don't want to give this up yet, and I don't know if they know that Nursey has, but Shade is pretty far back, so you'd think so, except nobody's with him. Which effectively just makes this a really weird sack wave. Where after like a second, nobody really wants to be part of it anymore. And then you just awkwardly trade numbers. Slamnish also doesn't get out. So yeah, that was really weird. Like obviously getting Nursey would have been nice, but they didn't even really like have any good timing on that. They just kind of stayed in, which just meant they stood in front of the team with a beam on them when a Shade was far back trying not to die. And it ends up losing them too many players. They could do the thing that they've done the entire game on mid. Anyway, FroyoBlack comes in. No, not FroyoBlack. Froyo comes in. FroyoBlack doesn't want to give it up. Aggressive position gets slowly established. Habib gets denied. Bandy dies early. So they don't want to give up too much space. Don't want to have them just use in here. If anything, they are looking keen for an exchange right now. Catching them out from the lower area here. Getting said exchange. They already got a kill. They get a second one with Last getting Aim behind the Uber. Probably will trade there because there's no way Eric misses that unless he actually doesn't go for it. Oh, never mind, he takes a pack, so he might survive. Either way, really nice jump behind Last to get them there. The Soldier and Habib dies as well on top of that. So the exchange is just going great all over the place. Blaze is coming in high, which is threatening. Shade is not committing yet. They just need to like coordinate as well right now. Eric is obviously the easy target here, or needs to be the easy target. Nursey needs to just like not be the target right now. There we go. They take their time. And just good exchange. Like you can either exchange for position and then a post-over fight, or you can exchange to get kills on people that are not on the beam. And that was clearly what was working in this instance here for FroyoBlack. Wins them the fight severely. Really smart play around the exchange. Turn out second general. To just like catch people out coming in early. Which both teams have done quite a bit. Where they just check where people are. Try to maybe get in some early damage onto people holding back, but FroyoBlack just didn't hold back. And anticipated the rotation back, which there wasn't much choices to go for anymore anyway, if they already start going back, so they perfectly read the position. Froyo would go in, get the great exchange, pop into last, get the pyro, gun is still there. Nobody's really getting flashed in, and I mean Shade's Uber's off now as well. Doesn't get hit by that still, will get hit by that, and Bronski dies on top of that. So the pyro still did his work more or less. Rotation over by the flank, high 5 dies early though. And with Shade weak as well, it should be Ghost Sign AS to go back. But the flank is way too late to react to that, they only get 1 kill off of that. And again, these last pushes are not looking too amazing. They just can't get in in a manner that makes it somewhat safe. And quick, more importantly, it all takes too long with the Uber. And Uber just can't get much done. Too many times in a row. And they got the rounds of like somewhat sketchy DM fights, which are still impressive to win, but as I said before, not reliable. And if you can't, if it goes any worse, which is what happened here, then you don't even get to do that in the first place. The gun was still up. They barely got people in, and the people that did were pretty much left to die. So we've seen this a million times, but this time it's looking different, because Lemnish dies early. Froyo gets a lot more ground covered for free, with not much resistance, so they just decide to pop through, maybe catch some more. Don't really get much. They get Podolski, which is a good pick, because this position here especially is decently contestable for a demo man. And just put in traps to spam in general, if they try to decide to come from here. But yeah, that is not enough for Froyo to be confident in trying to go with it, off of just a demo pick onto a team with advantage. Not even trying to force, at least not aggressively. Obviously there will be coming stuff their way now, because the transition area is pretty big. So you might as well go for it. I don't know what normally jumped there actually. Froyo was really close, he just kinda jumped at them. Maybe hoping to distract people, but I don't know, he was just jumping to scouts. Sure, he had a pack, but that still didn't matter in the end. Interesting sticky trap, you know. I like how long it took them to call that. They just looked at it. Yep, that's a sticky trap. Oh, aim is flying in. Not really. It's good though to have the ability to just drift back. Be safe. Have a scout walk in and then jump in again. Try one more time, but again, can't really get through immensely. Blaze gets in eventually. Interesting attempt for Froyo. That was a fake triple sack, or a double sack disguised as a triple sack. With like one soldier jumping 3 times, the scout walking in, and then the soldier walking in while the other soldier fake jumps again. I don't know, they made sure at least that they don't go down all 3 players there. Which is respectable. And at the end of the day, what else can you ask for? It's just a lot of pressure. They need to take care of these players, otherwise they start losing players themselves for your back. So it's a nice idea by Froyo. FroyoBlack's defensive play at the moment has been looking pretty solid. I'm also not surprised it didn't work as well as they hoped it would. Eric just walks in again, both soldiers trying to contest. Blaze this time gets a lot closer. But aim also doesn't get out this time. So more risk has been taken. Also means more punish will come in if it fails. I like the idea though. But you have to be ready for the consequences. Shade really doesn't want to use here right now. Somebody has to come back and help with Benny. There we go. If you hold for that long and then still use, it's probably worse than just using it in the first place. Because then you just give up advantage. Because at that point they really won't catch an Aussie anymore, so it's a matter of what they do here now. Yeah, so soldiers going deep. Quite a bit so. Again, leading in early, Habib gets airshot into oblivion. Ooh, Blaze pre-fires the rocket onto the pack. But Laz doesn't go there. Pretty smart. And Slamish came back. Oh, came in the first place. Got out of that. Again, pretty nice by FroyoBlack. They got some great kills right now. Flank is not really in here. Eric and Barney want to contest this. If they do, this is gonna be big. I can't watch both sides right now, which is annoying. Eric dies early, which is good. This is like a high risk play. Froyo trying to do that to save the situation. And Barney gets one kill there, but he also dies. Oh, Badonsky should have stick point. If they lose because of that, it's gonna be sad times. Oh, Shay doesn't fight it. Yeah, they lost their confidence in the last push. If they didn't, this would have been a whole different story. It's just an endless game fight. Eventually, Scout class is coming through. It's good that Shade didn't overcommit though. So, Husky playing again by Froyo. And FroyoBlack doubted it at the moment. Also, Badonsky didn't sticky the point, tried to sticky off the spawn, but they could just walk around it basically. Which is a bit sad to think about. So, small mistakes make this one a lot closer again. And once again, the last pushes are a bit sketchy. This was the only, like, not really traditional last push, if you wanna put it this way. It wasn't just like, you know, everybody's up, maybe there's a gun advantage last push or something like that, which happened twice before, which were kinda not great. I can't say terrible, but not great, and coming down to the end fights. This one was a lot more messy, and Froyo tried the hardest to draw it close, and the backup stuff and all of that made FroyoBlack play a lot more scared at the end of that. But having heals at the end of that for the players made the difference. Oh no, Froyo and red now. I still hate this. Purely because it's just annoying. I say this every time I watch an ESEA demo. Anyway, let's keep consistent with perspective for the mid fights. And yeah, feels like we've seen this before. FroyoBlack just being back. Froyo playing a lot more aggressive, looking for early damage without committing the soldiers this time. Small mistakes are by the scouts just not being forward just that bit enough. Demo goes down and immediately everybody storms forward on Froyo. Ash tries to counteract that, but probably won't get there. Was close in the end at least. But yeah, Froyo is just a lot more aggressive onto the point. FroyoBlack lets them. It's not like they're just beating them to the point every time. It's very much a choice. And it's been working more so than it hasn't, I think. But Froyo now starts on the upper hand. One in mid gets the second. Slamish is just walking in for a kill. Nice arrow there by Nursey. Not be healthy, but then he walks into Sticky, so never mind. Still, it creates a little bit of a distraction. Habib still dies in the end, as I mentioned. They want to get some stuff done with that. Laz is fighting on Shudder. Is anybody else in somewhere? No, not really, okay. And yeah, they'll just get themselves some space with that, which is, you know, sometimes all you need. Nursey and Aim had different ideas there. You could tell Nursey went forward. Aim just wanted an arrow, I would assume. Then not the U on himself. In the end, they get some kills with that. Shade gets the better Uber on paper. In practice, they still kind of do. But that relies on the spawns coming in, which means they want to wait for those in the first place, which gives up the point and some position in order to play it safe. Safe meaning, however, in this case, that they still need to get it first. Which still means that there's a little bit of a fight going on. They have better numbers though. And they just played for that. Stop using the pistol, boys. He has heals on him. Also, it baited people down, which means everybody not being down there actually has an easier time coming in. And that actually happens in the end. They just rotate. Just auto left, get a lot of damage. So the fact that Benny didn't die was actually a big deal. Nice arrow by Shade, keeps up aim. Probably more aim towards Nurse, but it's something, I guess. I don't know, that all of this could have been done better by FroyoBlack. Just the kill onto Benny would have been great. Needless to say. No, the initial waiting was kinda nice. But they couldn't afford to lose players now. If they already started playing conservative to begin with. They just needed to pull through with it a little bit more. Push comes in left. No time for guns, so Heavy needs to do the job here. And that's the big difference here. Furious Uber actually gets in deep. They're yet to deal great damage, and Shade gets Uber in time, but they at least got in properly. 3 people on the backlines, all for the Heavy. Trying to avoid the Uber as much as possible with everything else they have, but he was still coming. Maybe hope they would be catching Shade before he has or something. But that's not happening. Habib dies going in deep. Nursey dies not getting out there. Benny and Aim are still behind, but they know about that. Blaze and Eric are still somewhere, which is a threat, mostly not for the round, but as much as it is for Shade. So they need to be quick here, otherwise this is gonna be bad. Oh, surface straight in front of Eric. Bit unfortunate. Good salvage by Eric and Blaze, I suppose. But they were just too slow on the initial Uber. They will have advantage out of this. Not insanely so. And nobody's with Nazi right now. It's gonna be a bit low, and they have heals right now where Shade isn't up yet. Which could be valuable. They want to play like really fast. And it looks like they want to go just straight in. Which is probably the right idea to begin with. Because Shade's just in now, Mamadou dies. As a direct result of that. How about you call these stickies up now? Still spamming. They have this here as well, so they kinda need to be afraid. Probably build themselves as well, a gun as much as a newer. Because we've seen how small the advantage was last time. Troy still went with it. And just barely missed out on it to begin with. So they don't wanna have it come down to that again. And yeah, Shade only has 70 by the time Uber comes in. Not even that. Uber in. Habib doesn't get flashed, so the gun's just... Well, he did get flashed, but not enough, and he also jumped a gun, so, you know. Gets pushed back. Doesn't really work as much as they wanted to, but it forces people back, they just start playing the point. Nobody wants to contest that as the Uber's still up, and there's stickies on the point. And isn't it just lovely when soldiers flying high when they need to actually touch the point? So minor mistakes for FroyoBlack, just added up there over time. And FroyoBlack likes, Froyo likes that, they just keep on going with everything time and time again until eventually it's big enough. So 3-1 is the actual scoreline right now. Again, similar start here, except Froyo is actually themselves not committing quite as much as they were last time. Aim under the point. So this is probably just in general their more passive style. They hold back, aims on the ground. And they just play it from there if they want to play passive. Blaze on the flank as well. Just spamming. Maybe catching somebody trying to go behind. But so far nobody's really committing, so it comes down a lot to early spam. And who acts better off it? Habib is kind of weak, Aim got an arrow just now I think, Slamnish is on half. Mamadou takes a bit, and Last goes in high. This is where probably interesting things happen. Wants to go in behind, but Mamadou gets cleaned up there. Last wants to come over and help, but Benny was just waiting the entire time for that. Scouts want to commit forward with that as well. But it just leads to this weird triangle where now that the scouts commit on FroyoBlack, Froyo is flanked, Eric and Aim in this case, well not really flanked, combo more likely. And also start committing onto those players, get Slamnish with that. After Last and Mamadou died. And it just initiates this awful trading sequence where the one who starts going first without something substantial is just ending up losing. Because everything that commits onto something else is just gonna get traded out. And Last trying to get into base there was just not good enough. As an like initiator. Because he just had to jump into a scout forward to begin with. That's really nice stuff by him. It's not huge, but you know, that's something. In general, just nice little like carefulness about the sticks. And there's a lot of space here for sticks to be, so you have to be. First lasting stalemate, to the point where we have seen class for the first time here. Onuns spy, then he sees it coming, they have a sniper themselves. See how much they can hold here now. With one down, a sniper in front of them. They have Eric sniping, they have Blaze going with that. They can afford to do this player here. Question is how much do they want that to happen in the first place. They do again the same sack we've seen before. Which is both soldiers jump. This time more similarly timed instead of differently timed. Banny walks forward as well, which distracts at least one player. And as long as he doesn't like immediately die, it's fine. Both soldiers just try to see if they can get onto something, but doesn't really happen. And I guess in this instance here as well, they have a sniper that can maybe catch people on surprise. They also rotate in and out really fast here, so it's like this is almost a proper fight. And FroyoBlack eventually gets uncomfortable. And they can't play too aggressively into that as well, because otherwise the sniper just gets 3 picks. This is like really high effort for Froyo to do. And definitely not easy to keep up for as long as they just did. Without losing players themselves. But it gets them where they want to be. Gets Shade as well. So that was a really nice play. Really like high maintenance costs. Like everybody needs to play really well now. Do not get called out by anything. And not like overcommit to something they shouldn't go for. Anyway, and it's just clean up here right now. It should be at least. Yeah, there we go. So Froyo found a few answers to FroyoBlack at the moment. And they've been just looking into Last a bit better, but they also hadn't had that much and that many tries yet, so we'll see. A really nice stalemate record there. Alright, Mamadou is trying to commit more or less. I don't actually know what his goal is right now. He just kind of wraps around the point and finds himself next to aim. And he will die for it. They took a lot of damage early. They get aim as a return pick. Look at that. Shade is just basically dead. Eric dies as well. Which is good though. Like they force this fight to be under the point. Last tries to directly commit for Nursey, which happened to work once before. He had a decent chance. Shade is just dead. They should have taken the pack. They just tried to play with numbers faster than they could afford to. Either that or they all needed to play more passive. While they went like inside or something. I think the pack is the easier answer here. So Froyo wins that by doing absolutely nothing. Not really, but you know. They kept Nursey alive. Which unless something miraculous happens will be the winning factor for the quote-unquote mid-fight, even though the mid-fight itself is technically already over. And the logs say FroyoBlack won this one, but we all know they didn't. Decent spam actually, and Tam, my last, coming in. Not quite enough. Scout's in good position to deal with that as well. Alright. Last not getting this is unfortunate. The Shade almost has, and now they've one down here. Which, for Froyo, that's like a free invitation into second. Getting it too. FroyoBlack actually just rotates. Drops aim from Lieber once again. Poor guy got dropped twice already today. But they also get Slamdash of Lieber. They might get something as well, so this is going alright. They again just go for the aggressive exchange. And just like brute force kills. It's like an execution test on a medic. And a bit on everybody else, granted as well. To where Nosy like starts dropping people from the Uber, and nobody is like fast enough to escape the rest of the Uber, or get close enough to Nosy to get a flash in the first place, it starts going bad. Happened twice now with this one. And the rest is just getting the damage onto escaping people. I lost one player on the way, but it's affordable enough since they got 2 more at the end of that. But spawns are here where theirs aren't. And they just overestimate the time window. Get caught out for it hard. They need Nosy to die right now. And they probably will. Because Froyo is just tunnel visioning the demo man. Mamadou jumped behind him and Laz was there the entire time as well, so... Just a severe case of tunnel vision, I don't know what else to say. Mamadou gets cleaned up for it, which makes life a little bit easier. Last dice as well. Aim gets... Manny goes in as well. They just desperately try to get something out of this. It was their old mistake to get into the situation in the first place. I guess the silver lining is that they still have another shot at killing Shade. But that was a really bad attempt to push into mid for FroyoBlack, that it really shouldn't have gone that bad. Hi Krimi, what up? But this game was good, so far it's pretty interesting. Seeing a lot of interesting stuff, granted it's Metalworks, still. Let's see, push in, just using Uber for that. In current year, big brackets, you can't expect to get Medic with that every time. And Froyo again, we've seen this like multiple times before. Just throw a lot behind. During that, to have again the great repushability in terms of a pincer movement, but FroyoBlack just expects that at this point. And all 3 of them died. Sure, Mamadou got killed as well. But in the end, it's like none of the kills they got happened on the Uber, but they still got 3 with the Uber effectively. Anyway, Froyo uses and gets Podolski. That's not too bad, as long as they play fast here, but they play maybe a bit too fast. Both soldiers just die immediately, and would have been in early as well. So I'm gonna give Froyo the fact that, you know, they kinda needed to go early there, if they wanted to do anything with that, but the soldiers were just like 3 pigs, the way they came in without any help. FroyoBlack tries to do a little bit with that. And they still have advantage, so going forward here already, before they have, but not committing is probably the bad idea. He gets dropped, High-5 didn't spot the trap, Shade used the nurse he almost has as well. Get the damage for the force, but need to hightail it out of there, and Ace anticipates them as well. Gets the damage in, the rest of the combo comes in to clean up with that. And just too slow on the execution there. They used in by the time Nosy pretty much had already. And now they can just, you know, just convert from here. Nothing really you need to do tremendously well. They didn't even kill High-5 in the end. So they didn't even really execute. They just stepped on the point and pushed them off. Which means right now the game is even again. This is the second half. The first half was FroyoBlack. But this is an even game now. Froyo found some decent answers. The mids have been going better. Alright, let's see. Mamadou is playing quick again. Blaze has been playing from that position for a little bit. Oh, he doesn't commit. I know that's easy to say in hindsight now, but he should have. Because now he's just eating damage and won't get Blaze. But he wanted to play it safe, and by doing so, he actually didn't. Aim on the ground, which we've seen before, gets pushed back by scouts pushing when early. Just missed the first half. The VOD will always be there. Also, I'm gonna upload it to YouTube. I can link that later as well in Discord. So Mamadou is the first pick here, and so far, the way these mids have been going, the team with the first pick, like, probably has won them every time. So I'm curious to see if they even have any ability to turn this around, but so far it doesn't look like it. Froyo just starts committing with this again pretty quickly. Slamnish is just going for gold right now, but doesn't get lucky. Last tries to go for something as well, gets some good damage. Slamnish is there eventually. Froyo's aggression gets punished this time.
The control point is being captured.
If players slip through while people are still forward enough, so they get the damage in before people come back.
Time has been added.
So you need to take mid in like a confident manner here right now, otherwise it's gonna leapfrog back and forth. Amalu is a bit alone. Look at that, Froyo again. Just, oh, you wanna push in with Uber right now? Have fun dealing with 3 people on the flank. And like everybody's gonna get baited in there to die, and Shade rotates way too late as well. This is so weird, especially because Froyo has done this like 3 times before this. And it's now only this time FroyoBlack really falls for it, with nothing really changing. But what I didn't expect for some reason is FroyoBlack just try and get Nursi killed here. And just flood in from all directions with the last few players they had. And they just needed to expect that to happen. Like at least some sort of sag. Obviously that was mostly just like full push at that point anymore. But they just tried to salvage from the fact that they got forced really badly. So Shade got the better end of this somehow. Start coming forward this time. Or whatever you call this. Pop in, Slamnish dies, Habib dies. Again, people go behind. A big collective effort. And as you would expect at the same time as well, the push comes in forward at the same time. And that's what they've been trying to do this entire time. And it only worked once so far. Which is the big pincer. Probably like this can work on other maps. Galliot comes to mind. As long as you have the space for it, it's certainly possible. But yeah, and you know, the conversion rate on that push, well, counter push even, with like super intensive like flank aggression to get behind the Uber, is like 1 in 3 right now, which isn't great. And it's more surprising than anything that it starts working later in the game. You know, FroyoBlack kind of reacted to it perfectly every time before this. Okay, we have Last going in high. And in general, a pretty aggressive start here right now. They cross early. I'm on the point, both scouts trying to force their Blaze. They don't get good damage with this, so Blaze is just kind of baiting them to shoot him, while making everybody else easy targets. Slamnish eventually finds the kill. And Eric took a lot for that as well. They just needed better damage to people committing here, Froyo. But it didn't really come in. The soldiers went back quick as well, so they didn't overcommit to anything. And they got themselves good position out of this early. It's weird, because the momentum on these mids kinda turned completely around from the start of the game. FroyoBlack started much more passive, Froyo much more aggressive, and now it's turned the opposite. FroyoBlack here demanding space early, trying to get the early kills for the last few mid fights, and it's working now. And I don't know who got behind there. Was that Slamnish? Maybe. It was the one that died, so I would assume so. Anyway, he got Nursi with that. Just with the heads up flank play. Are people stuck? Yeah, trying to go for anything here is just kinda sketchy, because look at its spawn time. The fact that mid took as long as it did, due to people chasing, is kind of saving Habib's ass right now, because if they like capped mid at any point earlier, Him dying this late would have been completely terrible. No sticks anywhere. Still barely time for anything, but at least he'll be there in time. At least put in damage. Popping through... Do you call that main? I don't know. Anyway. Uber in, soldiers commit, scouts on the point. And trying to get damage onto the point. I don't know what Podolski's shooting. He's trying to get the gun while everything's happening on the point, which is kind of bad. Because the scout clearly played 4-point pressure. Eventually everybody reacts accordingly and they trade 2 for 1. Get the pyro. The gun is pretty much a non-factor right now, or at least it should be. They can just like make this entire fight be on the point or the right side of it if they wanted to. Somehow Podolski decides to rotate left though, and I really don't understand why. But for the most part they're still winning it of the damage they had on the point with the soldiers and the scouts. They just need to actually commit. It's just that Podolski got himself in the worst possible spot on this entire last point right now. Why is Shade the only one that actually like big balls this? Which is especially weird because so far he has been really like safe around his own life. Especially on last. Like this this was not bad. But this could have taken so much less time. It's actually weird. And I really don't understand what Podolski was thinking doing any of that. Shade is just Shade. Yeah, but he's been playing really like careful in really many situations so far, especially on last, to preserve his life in case it goes bad. I think he was just really annoyed that nobody committed forward, so he just did it himself. Which is understandable, because they really should have just played for the point. There was Banny alone and the soldier on the far side, which would have taken time to get there in the first place, with the demo spamming him, even if the demo is an easy target to himself. They can't commit for both the point and Podolski at least. So just getting onto Banny as quickly as possible was the right answer. Like every single time. Anyway, again, mid-fight, more aggressive start by FroyoBlack. Aim under the point, gets denied again. Banny wants to come over and help with that. Might clean up Marmalou. Last goes straight for the medic, but Banny should die for his troubles. Nursey gets taken down with that. But then everybody just falls back and Shade doesn't, and it's weird, and I hate it. It's like they knew what they were doing for the first 5 seconds of this. Exactly. Got the medic, got the first like 2 kills. And then Shade goes forward and nobody else does. On the combo anyway. And Shade didn't need to die here at all. Did it go? Okay, see you, Creamy. Alright, so even game again. Got 30 minutes left on the game. But it's 4-4, so the next round is a match point. So this might as well be a golden cap. Which makes it even more upsetting that Shade died there. The stalemate again, neither team has, so obviously gonna be a lot more careful. Situation win. Likely approach this in any way. Speed this up a little bit while they're building, because they're obviously not doing much right now. Last just jumps in. Single sack. Gotta get lucky these days to get much out of them. Counter attempt, Scout goes forward, Soldier goes forward, Habib spams. High collective effort, but nobody really hard committed to that. And they all mostly played to not die, we're just getting damage in. Maybe get a pick. A second one would have been nice. Maybe bait somebody out. Ah yes, the cow mangler. What a fun weapon. Not even that broken, it's just really stupid. Okay, last goes in high. Blaze tries to counter jump that. But Shade isn't close anymore, which he probably preyed on. Catches Marmalou not looking at him, so that's nice. Marmalou just AFK. That was such slow reaction time. He will die for that. And just really didn't need to. Lamlish dies as well, I don't know where that happened. Nice, somewhere. Oh wait, no, wait. Why did that happen? That was just the slowest reaction time humanly possible by Marmalou to react to that. When was this played? A while ago. I can check real quickly without hopefully wasting much time. ESEA. Was like one of the last games in the regular season. It was... yeah, like 11 days ago. Also, hi Decky. Alright. So off of that, they try to go back, escape this incoming whatever. This is a really weird time for Nurse to use. I understand the general concept of that, as in use late, but while the Uber is still on, catch them off with the rest of your Uber, and kill things while their Uber ends. But they were so far back, so needless to say, nobody chased. So overall, timing was somewhat alright, positioning on the Uber was terrible. They were nowhere close to anybody. They might as well not have used that. Or held onto it a bit longer and tried to bait them forward to get the force in the first place. Either way, it stays effectively even. Like, that's the only thing I can say positively about this. At least they didn't wait much longer without catching anything, because otherwise they would have just gotten much more disadvantage. Alright. A single commits, which is strange. I assume it's mostly just a safety measure to not do the like 2.5 man sack they've done so many times. Because this is match point, so they probably don't want to take the risk. Which is fair enough, makes sense. Just strange to see after like 3 people going in all the time. To have both sides just go for single sacks at this point. You can't really blame them. Aim commits. Hi Joe. What up? Das like kinda commits, doesn't get through, just leaves. Which is I guess better than dying. Alright, this play's gonna jump. Looks like it, yeah. Just going straight in onto Shade, gets the force, no scout with him, nobody in front of him at all. Sometimes all you need is a body in front of you as a medic, and that would have saved Shade quite a bit there. Man, actively body blocking is so underrated. And given how much effort Froyo had to put in for their forces so far, that still didn't work. Seeing a single sack work in this game is almost upsetting. And with the consistency they had at last, this is shaping up to be a wrap. But once again, Nazi is pretty early, with like little to no visible effect that they could know of. At least they got something with that. Both soldiers die. One was just hiding in the end. Let's see, Shade almost has, and he really just need to get this right now, but he got hit by the good old weapon that is the Cow Mangler. ESEA is like the worst jump in possible, where he dealt more damage to himself than to anybody else. I understand the idea, because getting Shade here is like, or would have been their win condition right now. Because they knew at least, like even plus minus 10%, they would have forced him there either way. If he were to have like any more than they anticipated him to have. As it stands, not so much. I have 5 dice here. It's effectively a golden cap, so you don't really want to take too many risks on this push shot, I would assume. Which is just playing into Froyo's hands right now. They have the power position right now. Donsky's really far forward and makes himself such an easy target. Slamdish dies trying to help out there. They all just exchange numbers. Really awkwardly. FroyoBlack needs like all the kills right now, and even then it's not great because Nursey got out. So yeah, power position played good enough. Did he made a huge mistake out of last? Just waited for a lack of proper defensive position, like people were waiting for forward. Had to come out and help each other to survive, and still ended up trading numbers negatively. Until people were just able to get through to Shade. That's like the 7 classic, kind of the Froyo version of it anyway. Alright, it's just an uber push here, tries to catch stuff early. Loses 2-player and entry for the gun though. Habib goes in deep as well. And this is shaping up to not be amazing. They get the mat, however. Everybody goes in deep. This happened before, kind of. Like more or less anyway. Silver lining once again is Nursey survives. Which is a big plus. Probably will get out of this because Last is definitely too weak to chase this. So again, just nobody getting through properly, and it's like different reasons for why these last pushes aren't great for these teams. Froyo is just trying to force in everything really, really quickly, which leads to things to just die early. FroyoBlack is just not getting in first place. Anyway, it's even Ubers, it's just a dry attempt here by Froyo, throwing soldiers early, get some damage with them, take a lot more than they deal in this instance. Use aim. Shade's holding back, heals people. Nursey just rotates once through, is lucky to survive that to begin with. Still getting chased and like killed all over the place. Rotation in once again, but Habib is on the other side, so he might actually get some kills here, with people not looking his way. Shade realizes at least, so he won't die. Or he shouldn't, anyway. Still sketchy. He didn't get the combo though. That was FroyoBlack's fight to lose, and they just mistimed it with Habib. Like, Habib didn't even do that much. He got the demo, which is nice. But just his pure presence just forced everybody to play so much differently than if he was with the combo or like anywhere else, basically.
Time has been added.
And that needs to be game right now. Guns up though, and I mean they did fail this earlier, so you never know. But situations like this, you can't just let it slide away from you. Especially not on this level. I don't know metal works that much, so I don't know what like the greatest meta strats for last pushes are. Off the top of my head, as much as for other maps. Froyo has certainly gone for left side most of the time. Straight onto the gun, try to get that, was everybody else plays aim or trying to get through main more or less. Take a lot of damage to stickies. Actually they don't. Actually no, wait. Oh no, Bedonsky isn't actually deading them, he's just putting in a 9 to 10 sticky, which means 2 of those just dead onto them. He could have killed one of them at least, if he were to dead, but that also means he wouldn't have anything on the point. Anyway, the Uber gets past the sentry this time, without everybody dying for it. So they get to a much better position. Still lose aim and Nursey going forward on the rotating players respawn. The heavy takes forever to die. And once again, this will fail. And this time Nursey didn't survive. This last push like this happened like 4 times this entire game on Froyo's part. And twice in a row now. In like a golden cap scenario. Which really makes you wonder if they play this again, if they're gonna change anything, because their last pushes have not been as consistent as they started out to be. They had some better last position. Ooh, huge pipe by Bodonsky. Why was Nursey down to begin with like that, with nobody? It's really strange. Probably missed something there, because Laz also died, so he probably tried to force in the first place. And yet again, the change of pace here turned completely around. To the point where it's again FroyoBlack's game to lose, and just as I say that, they lose Bodonsky trying to rotate. Ace dies, Habib is weak, aim is like a target, Eric is alone against Laz, will No, actually, no last one's okay, never mind. This happened so many times though. Like something distracts FroyoBlack and like the rotation leads Froyo to get so much space. Shade gets forced. Nursey survived that.
The control point
And the last two players that went for the force to begin with are just going back to get Nursey out.
alert.
They can just threaten this back cap right now.
Captured.
And last and just went on to chase and to get the medic, never mind.
Time has been added.
And Podolski, I think, yeah, Podolski tried to block the back cap and died for it. So a lot of things just happened and I couldn't really watch all of them. They go back, deal with that. I lost a lot of numbers to Froyo, just like chaotically trying to make anything happen here though. Jet is 60, they're pretty far forward for not having it and having advantage on for that matter. And I mean, I don't know, man. So this is such a jumpable position. Plus people rotating from the under area over there to the right. Ace gets more or less baited. Doesn't quite die. High five almost overcommitted that. Mamalu doesn't see that for some reason. I don't know why that call wasn't made. High five dies for trying to get for Blaze. How is Blaze still doing things? This is really sad. That was like Mamalu's kill to get. If not high fives before that. But he got the damage in the first place and they just beef that completely. Trying to get everything but the weak players. Getting forced on the way because they just started dropping too many players to Blaze being on 5 HP.
Time has been added.
That was just really bad damage calls, or position calls, or both. Because Blaze just needed to die now. Because Nursey and Co were already out to begin with. So there wasn't much of a threat to use for to begin with. Now they find themselves in this position where they have this set here. They effectively make this a Korf sack wave. And now we go on regular time over. So now we have the proper golden cap.
Alert. The control point is being contested. Alert. The control point is being alert. The control point is being contested.
But yeah, FroyoBlack like threw this around in at least some minor capacity that got cut a number of times.
The control point is being contested.
They had the upper hand way too many times to let it slip away from them. Same with Froyo. But it's the difference of how that came to be, which in Froyo's instant was not transitions or anything that they just played badly, but they just couldn't push last for shit. They fed it like 2 times with like full ad. Right, I'm on the wrong side again. Anyway, a spam exchange, Mamadou likely commits off of some damage, wants to throw in some more to help out. Seems to not get outlost. Eric commits for that. Needs to take some damage, otherwise this goes too unpunished. Blaze as well. They're busy on the left side, which actually makes Blaze's jump really nice. Now 5 and Laz are not in great position.
Control point is being
Eric gets slammed with that somehow as well. So it's again this weird checkmate position where it starts with some spam, somebody wants to commit, but the moment your commitment to any sort of play isn't leading to much, the other team just wins. In this case, the jump by Lance wasn't good enough. Alright. Again, aggressive exchange that Shade and Co go for, and they're still better at it. They got 2 kills during the exchange. They got Shade almost killed. Never mind, he does die. Which makes all of the effect of a good Uber completely negated. Because nobody was with him.
control point is being contested.
And suddenly we're here again. And if there's ever a moment where people question why a team would turtle on last for 10 minutes trying to get back to a mid-fight, and this is why. Because Froyo was stuck on last there for all intents and purposes, if not for the timer ending, and sure they didn't turtle for it. It just happened to be conveniently timed. But the timer just made up for all the mistakes they did leading up to that moment. And if ESEA rules would be different to the point where it would just keep on going there. And this would have been a wholly different game. FroyoBlack with a similar idea, trying to get things behind, but Slamlish dies trying. Last is basically stuck right now as the only one, with Plonsky down as well. Means they don't really have much going in their favor right now. Play entirely too aggressive for my liking and almost die for it as well. This Marmaduke is top of that, so this is really bad. This is such an easy opportunity to force here. Last trade for Habib, which is good actually. Makes it a bit better for FroyoBlack. But look at that, they're going forward with 4. Because, you know, they want to make use of this advantage, but doing that successfully is a whole different story right now. They still get 4, Slamish is weak. Well, all of them are weak, so Shade has to like constantly flashy, which means he has like a 4-second Uber, I don't know the math right now. But this Uber will be entirely too short for, you know, being dedicated to kill a single person. Arik dies, Bandy got behind, Marmaduke is now last just now spawns. And yeah, that's just it, basically. And the Uber wasn't even like completely terrible. It was not bad, it was not good, let's be honest, but they did that before. And they had enough time to wait now. So FroyoBlack just kind of threw it away in the end. In a really unfortunate manner, but it was close, and I feel like I understand metal works a little bit better, which is all I can ask for, I guess. And yeah, I have some more lined up for the future, but I don't think I want to do more today. Still have to do the YouTube stuff for this as well. Don't want to like have my voice die, so more in the next couple of days, I guess, whenever that will be. Like a ton of games lined up. We can like preview on the folder. I don't know if I watch all of these, but definitely quite a few of these. So that's gonna happen at some point. And yeah.